friends, welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you haven't been here before. I'm Erin, and for today's video we are going to be doing another Universal Yums unboxing. So if you don't know what Universal Yums is, it is a snack subscription service that gives you snacks from around the world every month. There are 3 different tiers you can get: a Yum box, a Yum Yum box, and a Super Yum box. I get the Yum Yum box, which is the middle one, and it costs about 25 bucks a month with shipping. This video is not sponsored or anything. This is something I pay my own money for, and it's just something I like to do every month. So if you want to check them out, I'll have them linked down below. Alright, so we are going to get into this pretty quickly because these videos can get a little bit lengthy. And it says on the outside of our box for this hint that it's the birthplace of democracy. And from the hint that I read last week with our box from Turkey, and this clue that's on the outside of the box, I am 99.9% sure that we are going to Greece this month. I almost said this year. And I was right, it says Greece. So apparently they're going to have some kind of trick-or-treat box that you can buy for 39 bucks. And it's free shipping, which is kind of cool, so I guess you can have trick-or-treaters try candy from different countries. Not something that I will do because I don't want to be the person that handed out the gross candies from around the world, but I'm sure they'll be okay. Oh, this looks like it's going to be a good one, guys. So what we're going to do is we'll start off with the Yum bag, which is usually like little candies that they give us. And the first one that's on here is Frugelli Pomegranate Jelly, which is pomegranate flavored jelly candy. Here is what the candy in the wrapper looks like. And this says, warning, pomegranate is dangerous, at least according to the ancient Greek myth. Legend has it that the Greek god of the underworld, Hades, fell madly in love with Persephone, the goddess of vegetation, and daughter of Zeus and, I'm gonna say this wrong, Demeter, is that right? The goddess of harvest. Not exactly a gentleman, Hades kidnapped Persephone, trapping her in the underworld. When Demeter learned her daughter's fate, she became a recluse, and with both Persephone and Demeter gone, no crops grew. Hearing the cries of hungry mortals, Zeus commanded Persephone's release. Hades agreed, but first he fed her some pomegranate. Sounds nice, right? Nope. It was a trick. Food was forbidden in the underworld, so eating the pomegranate meant Persephone had to stay there for a portion of every year. That's how the Greeks explained the seasons. Summer came when Persephone returned home, winter when she was bound to the underworld. Fortunately for you, Greece's view on pomegranate has shifted since ancient times. Today, the fruit is actually considered lucky, often given at weddings, housewarming parties, and New Year's celebrations. That means that you are free to enjoy this juicy pomegranate jelly with no strings attached. Looks like a square gumdrop. We are for sure off to a good start. That was delicious. So be prepared for a myriad of mispronunciations here. Up next we have Kokos Ouzo, which is ouzo flavored hard candy, whatever the hell that is. Hopefully it's not like the pine sol candy from the last box. Here is what it looks like. It says, ready to taste Greece's most beloved, most famous, most popular drink? Yep, this yum might come in the form of a succulent hard candy, but it gets its flavor from a drink. And not just any drink. Ouzo is derived from Saipuro. I have no idea, I'm saying that wrong. A strong grape brandy first crafted by 14th century monks on the peaks of Mount Athos. When anise, a flowering plant with licorice-like flavor, was added to the recipe in 1830, the new version, ouzo, became an instant sensation. Cafes called ouzeries popped up as go-to spots for good conversation, scrumptious snacks like olives and feta cheese, and of course a refreshing glass of ouzo. The drink is so beloved and so uniquely Greek that in 2006 the country filed a case with the European Union to claim exclusive rights over ouzo sales and won. So whether you love or hate its licorice flavor, with this ouzo-inspired alcohol-free hard candy, you're tasting an iconic Greek flavor you literally can't get from anywhere else. It smells like licorice, which is a little confusing because this is a white hard candy. I have a feeling this is going to be not so great. So that tastes like straight up licorice. There's no getting around that. It has no hint of grape whatsoever to me. But it's okay. It's just weird because it's white colored instead of, like, you know how all of our candy here in the US is usually black licorice. So I don't know. It's different, but I mean, it wasn't terrible. I like licorice. I'm sure if you don't like licorice, you definitely aren't gonna like that. So up next we have Cocos Honey Toffee, which is a honey flavored chew, which I can get behind. Here is what this looks like. Pick this honey candy out of your box and guess what? You might just be holding the secret to immortality. In ancient Greece, honey was dubbed the nectar of the gods. While it's true that the gods had a soft spot for the golden goo, there's more to this phrase than meets the eye. The word nectar comes from the Greek nektar, nek, meaning death, and tar, meaning the ability to overcome. So nectar of the gods actually refers to the popular belief that honey made the gods immortal. Imagine if achieving immortality was possible just by eating this delightful chewy honey candy. No harm in trying. Immortality, here we come. Here's what this looks like. Kind of smells like beer. That was good. It does have like a weird beer taste to it. I don't know what it is. There's not yeast or anything in it. I was just reading the ingredients, so that's odd. So up next we have Oriental Sargali, which is a syrupy phyllo dough pastry with almonds and walnuts. AKA one of my favorite things, baklava. Here's what this looks like. When exploring Greece, there are a few things you have to do. See the Parthenon, soak up the sun on a white sand beach, and try baklava. We're not kidding. Baklava is nothing short of a national treasure. You'd be hard-pressed to find a single Greek celebration, be it a wedding, holiday dinner, or birthday party, without a platter of the syrupy, nut-filled sweet front and center. But rest assured, Greek baklava never gets boring, as there are tons of different varieties to choose from. Great. There's Korkobinia, the itty-bitty bite-sized variety, Katafi, the kind with stringy shredded phyllo dough, and our personal favorite, Saragli. This version takes all the elements of original baklava, flaky dough, buttery syrup, almonds, and walnuts, and puts them in an oh-so-cute roll, creating the perfect party treat. Talk about letting the good times roll. Something tells us you won't have any problem checking try baklava off your Greece to-do list. I love all things baklava, so I know I'm gonna like this. It's like baklava in egg roll form. Here is what it looks like. That is incredible. These next ones kind of look like croutons. They are Kritsanaki Pesto Basil. Basil Pesto Breadsticks. Open this bag and you'll instantly notice one thing, the unmistakable scent of basil. That's likely what Alexander the Great noticed too, when he first discovered basil dotting the landscape of his newly conquered territory. That was back in 326 BC, and soon after, basil had become the hottest herb of the Greek elite. Some scholars believe basil was exclusively harvested by kings who collected the leaves using a golden, is it scythe? Yeah, scythe, right? Which might explain why basil comes from the Greek basilikon futon, I don't know, Phuton, meaning royal plant. It's even said that they used the herb in a more unconventional way, in perfume. Greek royalty would strut around their palaces smelling like fresh-cut basil, which now that we think about it, doesn't sound like such a bad idea. Still, we'll stick with the better use, applying these basil pesto-flavored breadsticks to our mouths. I get that they have to do this, but this is kind of annoying. They have to put the label with the nutritional information in English on the back, but it kind of makes it pretty difficult for you to open these bags without tearing them completely apart. They smell basil pesto-y, and they do look like croutons. Those are really good, but I'm not gonna lie, it's like straight up eating a plain crouton. It's good though. So up next is a Serenata finger, which is milk chocolate coated wafer with cocoa cream filling. Obsessed with wafers? We sure are. We try them practically everywhere we go. But this month we were even more excited than usual because Greece is where wafers were invented. Ancient Greeks first started cooking up the treats, then called obelios, in 146 BC. They would pour batter between two hot plates attached to wooden sticks. Think of them as an ancient waffle iron. Cook the wafers to perfection and then top them with herbs and cheese. Fast forward 2,000 years to 1970 when Greek company Totis Bingo created their flagship product, the Serenata Wafer. This rich, chocolatey take on the millennia-old tradition quickly became a household name across modern Greece. With 4 crispy wafers slathered in cocoa cream, coated in rich chocolate, and then drizzled with even more chocolate, it's hard to imagine Greece ever improving on this recipe. But with the country's history of innovation, it's bound to happen. We guess we'll just have to come back and see. So, as you can see, it's a chocolate wafer. Smells like chocolate. That did not disappoint. That was pretty darn good. Up next is Tas Chips Oregano, which is oregano potato chips. Pretty big bag. If you end up going gaga over these Greek potato chips, you have one person to thank. Oh man. Ioannis Kapodistrias, the first prime minister of Greece. I destroyed that name. Sorry. Why? Because in addition to building schools, prepping the country for democracy, and creating jobs for women, he was also a die-hard supporter of the potato. When Kapodistrias became prime minister in 1829, he dreamt of making Greece a potato hub, hoping it would boost the country's economy. He was so invested in putting down the potato's roots in Greece, pun intended, that he gave them away for free. Still, the public didn't see the appeal. So Kapodistrias hatched a new plan. He hired armed guards to protect the next potato shipment. Lo and behold, that got the Greeks interested. Local farmers, convinced the potatoes were valuable, started stealing them, and before long the potato spread countrywide. Kind of ingenious, right? Almost as ingenious as the idea to pair potato chips with oregano. Better take a page from Kapodistrias' book and guard these chips at all costs. They smell very oregano-y, and they look like a typical European potato chip, like a little bit thicker cut than what ours are. These are really good. This box is making up for last month's box, that's for sure. Up next is Moosetoe Cola, soft wheat cookies with grape must flavor. What is a grape must flavor? Like musty? That's kind of gross. Here's what the packaging looks like. You don't often use the word musty to describe good things. Usually it refers to an old basement or someone's dirty socks. But we found the exception. These cookies are musty for a reason. They're made with actual grape must. Hold up, what exactly is must? It's a thick mixture containing the freshly pressed juice, skins, seeds, and stems of the grape, usually prepared as the first step in the wine crafting process. You could say that must is a must for winemaking. It's only when the winemaker decides the must is ready, a critical decision that affects the taste, that he or she extracts the grape juice from the skins, seeds, and stems and begins to process fermenting the juice into wine. Fortunately for us, the must made in Kilkis, I didn't say that right, a city in the hills of northern Greece, doesn't get turned into wine. Instead, it's turned into this traditional Moosetoe Cola. Yeah. It's spelled Mostokouloro. Cookie. With a touch of cinnamon, these soft-baked sweets are an absolute must-have for any visitor to Greece. It looks kind of like a donut. That's not bad. It tastes very pumpkin spice-esque. I get no hint of grape in that whatsoever. So up next is Serenata Triplo Hazelnut. Milk chocolate coated hazelnut topped wafer with cream filling. Wouldn't it be cool if this deliciously creamy, chocolatey, oh-so hazelnutty wafer had healing powers? If you asked an ancient Greek, they'd say it does. According to Dioscorides, a famous Greek botanist, physician, and author of a medicinal encyclopedia used for thousands of years, hazelnuts just didn't cure nut cravings. They cured tons of common ailments. For nasty coughs, prescribe a mixture of pounded hazelnut and honey. For colds, cooked hazelnut and black pepper. Dioscorides even created a cure for baldness. Charred hazelnut shells were mixed with animal fat and smeared on receding hairlines across Greece. This wafer might not do anything for your luscious locks or lack thereof, but with whole hazelnuts and a rich chocolate coating, it'll cure the most colossal sweet tooth, just what the doctor ordered. Looks like a giant candy bar. It smells very hazelnutty. That was pretty good. Up next is bruschetta pizza. Bread crisp with cheese and tomato and basil seasoning. And when I opened up the box, I was very excited to see this because it looks delicious. If there's one food that all of Greece can agree on, it's crunchy bread. Paximedia, the country's beloved twice-baked bread, has been a national mainstay since ancient times. Because it's slow to spoil, it was originally made for the far-flung Greeks, sailors out to sea, shepherds spending summer in the mountain meadows, or soldiers in foreign lands. But Paximedia quickly became a countrywide craving. By 400 BC, over 72 unique types had been created. Today, the Paximedia tradition is stronger than ever. The bread is dipped in soups used as a base for deli meat, feta, and olives, or crumbled onto Greek salads. It also serves as the inspiration for crunchy bread snacks like this one, which combines Greece's prized Paximedia with a universal favorite, pizza. Sounds like a total crowd pleaser, right? Just wait till you try it. Think pizza flavored goldfish in bruschetta bread style. Up next we have King's Soft Cookie with dark chocolate chunks. Soft cocoa cookie with dark chocolate pieces. The worst thing about visiting Greece in the summer? A crazy number of tourists. Check out the trivia. The worst thing about visiting Greece in the summer with universal yums? Melted chocolate. Rather than depriving you of Greece's chocolate confections, we've chosen the best non-melty options. Yes, we're making non-melty a word to include in your box. This decadent chocolate treat is exactly that. With dark chocolate cookies accounting for nearly 75% of Greece's cookie market, how could we not give you a taste? Made with delicious dark Belgian chocolate along with a bit of salt and vanilla, this soft cookie is loads better than anything you'd find in a domestic grocery store. We're looking at you, Pepperidge Farm. And now that we think about it, the summer heat might just be the perfect way to recreate this fresh out of the oven experience. So if this cookie is still warm as you're reading this, well, you'd better act fast. I'm not going to take this all the way out, but it looks like a really soft cookie. Oh no. That's good. My battery light is flashing, and I can't remember which battery I have in here. If it's the one that dies as soon as it starts flashing, or not. So we'll play a little roulette here. Up next is Minos Nut Bar Peanut and Honey, which is a peanut and honey bar. Challenge time. Can you guess where this peanut and honey candy bar hails from? No, you can't guess Greece, but nice try. Here's a hint. The real answer is almost as obvious. It's the island of Candy. I didn't know there was an island of Candy. While that might sound like an amusement candy themed amusement park, it's actually another name for the island of Crete. Who knew? How did the name come about? The story is surprisingly complicated. From 1820 to 961, Crete fell under Arab control, taking on the name Chandax, or Candy in English. When the Byzantines took over from 961 to 1212, they restored the name to Crete. Then the Venetians came along, changing the name back to Candy, until 1669, when the Ottomans conquered the island and called it Crete again. Phew! Since then, the name Crete has stuck. But after trying this sweet and crunchy candy packed with peanuts and honey, you just might be convinced that Candy is a more fitting name for the island after all. Looks like one of them healthy trail mix bars. Smells very peanutty. Hard. That was pretty good. Not my favorite thing in here, but it was good. So, last but not least is Tas riccati with cocoa cream, which is a sweetbread with chocolate cream. And this thing is huge. The best part of the holidays, the sweets, of course. That couldn't be truer in Greece, where this delectable sweetbread, Tas riccati, is served on virtually every holiday. During Easter, Greek families make the dough from flour, sugar, butter, and milk. Then carefully braid it, and right before baking it, decorate it with real colorful Easter eggs. For Christmas, the same dough is artfully crafted with the shape of a cross on top. And for New Year's, locally known as St. Basil's Day, Tas riccati is prepared as a celebratory cake called Vasilopeda, traditionally baked with a coin inside. Whoever finds the coin when the cake is served is bound for a year of good luck. Don't go looking for money in this particular sweetbread, though. Instead, you'll find unbelievable rich chocolate cream. Looks like, or should we say tastes like, the holidays came early this year. This literally looks like a loaf of bread. I'm just gonna tear a giant chunk off. The giant loaf of bread with chocolate in the middle. Pretty good. Alright, so that was it for everything in this box. This definitely was a much better box than last month's box. Apparently, if I had gotten the Super Yum box, I would have gotten cornflake bread rings, which sounds intriguing. It's an unforgettable fusion of bagel and breadstick. But let's read the clue to next month's box and guess where we're going. Where we're headed next, the symphonies give chills. You can hear them in the opera house, the castles, the hills. But when you taste the yums, the music will be eclipsed by world-famous chocolates and punchy red chips. Opera houses and castles. World-famous chocolate and red chips. When I hear opera house, I think of Sydney, but there's not a lot of castles in Australia as far as I know. I vote some Scandinavian country. I don't know. This one's got me stumped. I can't think of a place that has opera houses and a lot of castles. And also is famous for chocolate. That makes me think of like Switzerland. Swiss chocolate. But that's it for this video, guys. If you liked it, please give me a big old thumbs up. If you want to see more videos like this one, hit that subscribe button down below. And I will catch you guys in my next video. Bye.